Thank you, Ken, and good evening to you. Good evening, everybody associated with the telecast, and good evening to everybody watching the telecast here in Australia and, of course, in some overseas countries. We're only just a matter of seconds away from the players taking to the arena, and when they run out there, they'll be greeted by a crowd of around about 56,000 people. Wayne Bennett just going through a few of the final thoughts for his players. As you can see, it's a very composed Queensland shed, almost like a school room there, with Bennett standing, delivering his last words of advice. Whereas the New South Wales side, you would have seen in the preview, players walking around, busily shaking hands, slapping each other on the back, wishing each other well, and a very nervous look on the face of Phil Gould. The boys have told you basically all there is to know. This is Origin game number 64, and it really comes down to the $64,000 question, I suppose. Who is going to win? Will it be the Babes of New South Wales, or will it be the tried and proven Queensland Maroons? They've retained 12 of their team from last year's Game 3, which they won very easily. And in contrast, New South Wales have retained only 4. There are, in fact, 8 debutants on the New South Wales side of the equation, just 2 for Queensland. The average age for Queensland is 27. The average age for New South Wales, I'm talking run-on side, is 24. Many changes have been made in the last hours leading into the game. I suspect they were changes made probably days ago. Chris Walker not starting. Chris McKenna didn't think he would be, but he finished up taking the place of Daniel Wagon. Carlaw to the back of the scrum, Doyle to the bench, Campion to hooker. And here is Gordon Tallis now, taking the Queensland Maroons out for game number 64. 23rd year of Origin. I wonder, did Senator Ron McAuliffe think that it would grow as it has into a sporting event that is the equivalent of any that's provided by the states around Australia? A big moment for Gordon Tallis. Of course, he's keen to take on the Australian captaincy. I agree with Wayne Bennett, the winner of the series need not necessarily become the captain of the Australian side. The Blues are on their way. Andrew Johns, their captain for the first time, becomes the 13th New South Wales captain. And the Maroons are out there. They will see some vacant corridors of seating, but still it is a very good crowd in the upper 50,000s. The Maroons have not yet won a game at Stadium Australia. That is only a statistic, though. Bennett and Gould go head-to-head at Origin level for the first time. At club level, it reads Gould 9 victories and Bennett 8 as the Wizard Blues go through the banner provided for them. Wizard, a great sponsor of the New South Wales Rugby League team. Lockyer just limbering up, one of the aces for Queensland. Danny Badiris played second fiddle to Luke Priddis right through the series last year before getting the Australian jumper. Jamie Lyon is the youngest player in the team, or in either team, as players mill around now just waiting for the final touches to go through, the formalities. We're waiting for Anne Wood to present the national anthem, and of course from the stage musical Mamma Mia, and both sides assembling off to her right and left. And that'll be followed by a moment's silence for Alec Campbell, the last of the Gallipoli veterans. That's a nice thing for the Australian Rugby League to remember. Alan Langer becomes the oldest player in Origin history tonight, incidentally. We go now, though, to the national anthem of Australia and Anne Wood.
Of beauty rich and rare, in
delivering the national anthem. And a rousing round of applause. Now for the moment's silence for Alec Campbell, who, as you know, died last week, aged 103. Our last Gallipoli veteran, a state funeral for whom will be held in Hobart on Friday. Australia collectively has stopped to remember exactly what the men of Gallipoli did for them, and fittingly the Rugby League is paying its tribute now.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
So let's go to the team cards again for you. If some of you have just joined us, here's the card for New South Wales with Peter Sterling.
Plenty of new faces, but chock full of talent. Hodgson at fullback, Tahu and Moody the wingers, Lyon and Gidley the centre pairing, Barrett at 5'8", Johns the captain at half. Ricketson locks the scrum, Simpson and Kennedy the second rowers, a front row of Bailey, Badiris, O'Mealy, off the bench, Anasta, Fletcher, Nathan Hindmarsh and Vella, coached by Phil Gould.
And the Queensland side, Darren Lockyer fullback to Keary and Schifosky on the wings. McKenna comes into the side off the bench. He partners Darren Smith, Sean Berrigan's the 5'8", Alalanga the captain. Dane Carler off the bench in the 15. He's the lock forward. Tallis captain, Sivanasiva partners him. Webke and Buttigieg up front. Campion goes from lock forward to hooker. Interchange of Chris Walker, Doyle, Webb, Andrew G, coached by Wayne Bennett.
Bill Harrigan officiates at his 16th Origin game tonight. The most cap referee of all time. And it is game on. The Harvey Norman State of Origin series is underway at Stadium Australia. And O'Mealy, an inspiring run back from the kickoff. And now for Luke Bailey. At the 20-metre line, New South Wales end of the ground. Now Kennedy, who played 76 minutes a fortnight ago against Melbourne, but has only played 4 games this season, so he will certainly be feeling the effects as he gets to the end of his first session of play. The 11 for New South Wales is Steve Simpson, one of the debutants, and captain Andrew Johns reefs it down the ground. Clinton Schifosky will be tackled just beyond his own 20-metre line. Darren Smith, one of the veterans, playing in the centres. The ball comes free, taken in by Berrigan. And Sean will play the ball just inside the 30-metre line with Queensland now. Into their first set of 6, and Shane Webke will play the ball 35 out from his own line.
And Ray, noticeable there that Andrew Johns kicked to the wing of Clinton Schifosky. In fact, Lottie Takiri, who plays on the right wing at club level, is actually slotted in on the left wing tonight.
Buttigieg got his first touch of the night before Lockyer sent it down to Hodgson, and Hodgson was hit by Langer and Carlaw. So this is Jason Moody, the Parramatta teammate of the fullback Brett Hodgson. And now for Luke Bailey from St George Illawarra. I wonder, did Luke give himself a chance of playing Origin football in 2002? Luke Ricketson, one of the men that was called in to try and stem the tide that was rolling against the Blues last year. O'Mealy, 42 out, centre ground to the right to Johns, who's played in 15 Origin matches. He's played at half-back on 8 occasions, and Schifosky. Again, they pepper him over on the right wing for Queensland. Lockyer is taken by Jason Moody. It's early days, but it's been a pretty good start for the Blues as Takiri reaches the 10-metre line. Playing it back now for Berrigan, and Berrigan uses Webke. Webke is met. He got himself about 4 metres across the ad line before he met the New South Wales defence.
And this is where New South Wales wanted to see their bigger opponents coming out with the football off their own line. Didn't want to be down the other end of the field. Darren Lockyer gets it's a good kick away for the Blues because they'll have good field position. Hodgson will take it over the halfway line, throws the dummy and almost gets through.
35 metres out from the Queensland line. Now, a pass low from Tahu, who is making Andrew Johns' job a little bit more difficult, and Badiris goes to another Novocastrian, Kennedy, and Kennedy with a strong run. smell of grand final victory still there, I imagine. Ricketson on this ground. A great day for Ben Kennedy and for Newcastle. Johns, then Barrett. Barrett gets a one-handed pass away to Bailey. And Bailey will play the ball on the right side of the ground. Badira's back for Johns, and Johns puts a little kick in. Johns might have been held out of it. I'm just looking at the referee. No, he's ordered line drop out.
Problem for Queensland. Sivanasiva is in Gaga land. He's made a few big hits so far, but he was just momentarily stunned there a moment ago when he tackled Trent Barrett, hit the ground hard. They look good, don't they, the Blues? Queensland so far, when they've had the football, have kicked early in the tackle count. Haven't let it go to the 5th tackle, and as a result, the New South Wales team have had great field position. They look pretty good.
Fella just a little bit dusty at the moment, but good defence from the Maroons, and I think they had every right to tackle Andrew Johns. It's a bad mistake from New South Wales, allowing that football to be on the ground so long. The Maroons pick up 40 metres.
O'Mealy then. Tallis made the tackle, and he was actually laughing when he made the tackle on O'Mealy. Now Badiris using Ricketson, he loses his footing. And Sivanasiva and Buttigieg come over the top to make a simple tackle. Badira sweeps it for Johns. Johns goes back for Barrett. Here's a break. It is Hodgson. Hodgson close to the line. New South Wales looking awesome. Passing with his back turn, but they'll make the corner. They are over. Gidley, I think it is. It is Gidley. Stand and cheer Newcastle. The forgotten hero is back and back with a try.
Well, they've turned the early pressure into points, and good on you, Matt Gidley. You've been under pressure. It was set up by this early break. Nice combination. The fullback, Brett Hodgson, well taken by Darren Lockyer. It was a try saver. But then on the next play, they took advantage of numbers on the right-hand side. They play the ball. Goes to the right. And as we freeze it there, you can see that 1-2 Queensland players have come in and have a look at the outside men, that space. And as play continues, the pass has just got to find the mark. To Keary, he recovers, tries to manhandle Gidley over the sideline, but he plants the football down.
Yeah, well, this try was set up by the play before, wasn't it? Phil Gould's done his homework. He knows that Queensland have the big forwards, but he also knows that his little men, the men like Hodgson and Johns and Badiris around the rucks, can get to them and can get through them. They did that with a nice little set play around the ruck there. Hodgson nearly scored himself, and when the defence converged on all those players, well, there was plenty of space out wide.
And the bench realising how important early points are. And a big rap for Trent Barrett. Threw a lovely pass to Luke Bailey in the lead up, and a quick ball there to the outside where he had support. Johns trying to make 4 into 6.
22 out from the sideline, looks good. Johns has kicked it from the touchline. It is 6-0 New South Wales after 7 minutes. A fine day in Sydney, developing into a cold night. Andrews on the sideline.
Yeah, Ray, Fatty mentioned before, Queensland kicking early in the count. They're also kicking into a slight breeze in this first half, and that try to Gidley, keeping up a run of early tries in Origin fixtures. You would think back to last year, in 2 of the 3 matches, we had tries inside the first 2 minutes. Ray, I'm joined on the sideline tonight by the captain of New South Wales from last year, and many, many times, in fact, Brad Fittler. What an encouraging start for the Blues.
What a fantastic start to the game. I thought coming in this game, the Blues really had to control the ball to have any sort of chance against these big Queensland side. And I think the start's just been fantastic. A la Newcastle Grand Final last year, going in as sort of underdogs, but just showing how just holding the ball can give you so much in a game of football.
Ben Kennedy making the first mistake for New South Wales, and the scrum will pack just outside the Blues 20-metre line.
Yeah, good on you, Freddie. As soon as you said how well they were controlling the football, out it pops.
Isn't that always the way?
For the first time, New South Wales will be asked some questions in defence as Langer feeds the scrum. Wide ball to his 5'8" in Berrigan. They continue on to Lockyer.
Lockyer tackle, 20 metres in from the eastern touchline. They're running towards the southern end, Queensland, and here is Shane Webke, widely regarded as the best front rower in the game today. They are 12 metres out from the line, and number 12 has got the ball. Sivanasiva, seemingly recovered. Campion is the dummy half. He uses the blind side. That is McKenna. Chris McKenna from the Sharks. plays it to the open side for Langer. Now with Berrigan. Berrigan tries to step away from Big Bailey. Ricketson's there working overtime as his coach would want now. Langer goes from the open to the blind, puts a kick in, marked on the full calmly by a young man on debut, Brett Hodgson, and Queensland now have to scurry back. This was the kick, and Hodgson moved across without a worry in the world.
Well, the Queensland supporters here were booing because it took a deflection off Danny Badira's head. They believe that didn't constitute a defusing of the bomb in behind the try line.
This is Simpson. He will rotate Simpson. Phil Gould between the second and the front row. And a penalty. It's against the markers. You don't need to be told. This has been very much the penalty that has been given most in rugby league this year. Markers not standing direct, and Shavovsky is able to get a touch from being in the field of play.
Very uncharacteristic mistake there from Andrew Johns, failing to find touch from the penalty. But wonderful work from the Canberra fullback Clint Shavovsky, who now scoots out of dummy half. Kept his head, batted the ball back to a teammate. They now get possession when they should have been tackling.
6-0 the score. New South Wales a converted try. Gidley of Newcastle scoring, converted by Johns. It came at the 6th minute. Tallis running off Langer. It went forward.
Mistake after mistake happening in this game. That's what State of Origin football can do. The pressure mounts.
Gee, it was a fine
It
call.
looked okay to me.
Well, Brad Fittler's on the sideline. One of the great New South Wales captains, one of the great Queensland captains and players of all time. Wally Lewis is in the box with us, offering special comments tonight. There's the pack weights. This must be the biggest pack that's ever played Origin football. 640 kilos. As the ball comes wide for Barrett, and Barrett goes to Gidley. Gidley taken by Smith and by Berrigan. 30 metres out towards the western side of the ground. Jamie Lyon, he's just the youngest player in the on the park tonight, in front of Braith Anasta. O'Mealy playing his third Origin, a couple last year. A real learning curve for him. Here's Johns back for Badiris. Now Barrett goes up the middle, came off Queensland, went backwards, Shane Webke. Nice work by the front rower, snuffing out what was a dangerous situation. Sivanasiva now.
One of the great qualities of Shane Webb here, staying alive. He's always alert to the inside pass. He realises that sometimes if you just tune out a little bit, it's danger. He never does. And here he is again taking another ball forward. One New South Wales player in Trent Barrett on his backside, but Johns did the job.
So Campion now just getting himself out from dummy half to first receiver. That's McKenna. 5 tackles gone against the Queensland Maroons. There's Lockyer again called on to clear with the kick. And here's Brett Hodgson again, linking up with some outside backs. He's tackled just outside his own 40-metre line and playing it back to Jason Moody. Now for Ben Kennedy, and he runs straight into John Buttigieg. He's put down in combination by Buttigieg and Carlaw at the halfway mark. And now for Moody to make a nice run out from dummy half of 9 metres. Badiris then. Now for Johns. There's the completions at the bottom of your screen. Or jolting tackle out wide by Takiri on Gidley. Newcastle pairing on the right, Parramatta pairing on the left is the way Gus Gould has worked it out. Here's Kennedy, and putting the head down, getting it to within 27 metres of the line. Tackle 5 is with us. Ricketson for John, steps around Langer, turns it back down the short side. Ricketson kicks, but it's well read back there by Darren Lockyer. And he will play the ball 12 metres out from the Queensland line.
Contrasting styles of attack so far tonight. In the opening 13-14 minutes, New South Wales prepared to throw the ball around. Andrew Johns doing plenty of dispensing, whilst Queensland just forward hit up after forward hit up. Haven't really had a chance and gone wide.
Loans there. Penalty goes against New South Wales.
He played good advantage there, Bill Harrigan. He didn't blow the whistle straight away. He was waiting to see if something developed out wide for the Maroons. When the tackle was completed, penalty was awarded. So Campion will take the tap now, 30 metres out.
And it's Petro Sivanasiva. put away just outside the 20-metre line by Barrett. Simpson with an assist in the tackle. Now Tallis, then through Langer, it's gone to Berrigan. Sean didn't play Origin last year. In fact, he's on debut tonight, but he was injured for the major part of the season. Here's Webke. 15 out, right in front, and a little window of opportunity for Queensland. Carlaw working with Campion. Campion to Darren Smith. Smith goes for the line. He's held and forced down 2 metres away. Campion again. Now it's with Langer. Langer, then to Lockyer. Lockyer to Tallis, and Tallis is held 7 metres from the try line. Now it's come away and gone from Langer to McKenna to Takiri. They're in. Queensland are over. Takiri on that eastern extremity, although Bill Harrigan wants to look at it.
Well, there's a question as to whether he's gone into touch here, but again, it was a situation where the attack took advantage of a deficiency in defence. 4 on 3. Gordon Tallis had 3 or 4 players come in to tackle him, and that left New South Wales short on that far side. Wonderful ball there over the top from McKenna. John's up against Takiri, a much bigger man, but does he do enough? No, he doesn't. Oh, well, the foot's okay. What about the hand on the corner post? I think it looks like a try.
Yeah, well, great cover by Andrew Johns getting over there, wasn't it? Halfback shouldn't be getting there, but he did. Yeah, he's banged that down. That should be a try. So good hit back by the Queensland side. Big man Lottie Takiri, and Andrew Johns very strong, but Lottie's able to brush him aside and bang the ball down. That's fine and dandy.
So Takiri this year asked to really step up to the plate with no Wendell Sailor. It should be green, and it is a try. So Queensland strike back at the 13th minute. It is 6-4 with the conversion to come.
And there you can see it is 4 against 3. The far winger realises he's got a real problem. So Moody came up, tried to come up with the ball and all tackle. Johns did his very best to try and stop Lottie Takiri, but from that range, he is unstoppable.
And that just came, that try from sustained hit-ups. You know, Sivanasiva, Buttigieg, Webke, all doing the job. In particular, Shane Webke, outstanding performance so far in this match. Very strong. He's in there a dummy half. And that's a good ball, isn't it, from Chris McKenna, who's just come into the side.
Yeah, in fact, it was Tahu on that wing, of course, for New South Wales coming in quickly. Lottie Takiri, one of the real personalities in the competition. Real likeable man, loves scoring tries. Enjoyed his rivalry with Wendell Sailor when they played in the same team. Now a little bit more pressure at club level on Lottie. He's got the team on board tonight.
And Peter, I'll go back a couple of minutes and bring up a point that I believe was a huge benefit to Queensland that's got them down this end of the field. The enormous pressure they put on Andrew Johns in his clearing kick the last time the Blues had the ball. They put 2 or 3 chases on him. The Queensland team got the ball effectively. They stopped pressure being put on themselves.
Schifowski. Ball tumbling off the mound. Came to Parramatta from the Queensland Crushers. Now with the Raiders. And is the Raiders' highest point scorer in a season. Doing that last year, breaking Gary Belcher's record with 245 points for the season. Clinton Schifowski. Right on the T-bar. 20-metre line. On its way, and it's out wide. So the score remains at 6-4, New South Wales leading. Audiences overseas who are still with us during our break, we welcome you and hope you're enjoying it. Wherever you might be taking in this major sporting event here in Sydney.
That's one now. Here we are, fellas, line up.
20-metre line, first tackle. So just outside the 20-metre line. Second tackle on the new set for Queensland. And this is Webke. Playing the ball inside the 30-metre line, and they choose to go to the right side where Sivanasiva has a full head of steam. Now, Carlo started the game at the back of the scrum, was listed as a bench player, and Campion has started at dummy half with Doyle reverting to the bench. Now Hodgson has created a few problems, and then Tahu losing the ball. And Bill Harrigan.
Tahu got it back, but it'll be a knock-on, an original knock-on against that man there on screen, Timana Tahu. Probably unnecessary pressure, the pass from Brett Hodgson. Lottie Takiri was zeroing in.
Absolutely, it was a pass that didn't have to be thrown. He's had a very bright start to this game, Brett Hodgson. Made a break, he's brought the ball back strongly as Mark O'Mealy's into the blood bin for a few stitches. But that pass just put pressure on Tahu, and they were there to greet him, and a drop ball.
Hearing out there for the players. It was quite difficult. I was just looking at some of the players. They didn't hear, obviously, the call from Bill Harrigan that it was a knock-on. They wanted to play on.
The momentum in this game has just changed a little bit, not just because the Maroons scored, but some mistakes coming from New South Wales in their own territory. They don't need second invitations.
Vella's going on. Lockyer turning it on the inside for Darren Smith. 20-metre line. New South Wales end of the park, and this is Webke now. Webke taken by 3 of the Blues. Bailey for 1, Kennedy another, Badeiras the 3rd, and then a short ball for a second man run from Buttigieg. There they are, 10 metres out, right in the centre. Langer looking for Carlaw and going himself. Campion for Lockyer, and Lockyer's able to get away from Vella. And Sivanasiva did the same to Kennedy. And Sivanasiva close to the line. 5 tackles gone for Queensland. Campion for Langer. Langer turning it back for Chris McKenna. McKenna held with the ball. That will see the turnover.
Great defence there by the Blues, in particular a Gidley tackle on Sivanasiva, because he'd beaten a couple. He would have scored nearly in the corner, and Gidley got him and held on to him. Now the hard work to be done by the Blues. Rocking it out from dummy half goes Line.
And now Tahu got the ball away, supported by the fullback Hodgson. Hodgson beats the other number 1, and he's tackled 37 metres away from the line. Johns. Ricketson. Felled in back play. Kennedy accidentally. Badeiras for Johns. Johns wide. Barrett pushes it out. This is Simpson inside the 20-metre line. 5 tackles gone for New South Wales now. Barrett for Johns, and Johns, he puts the kick back. There's the banana kick, and Tallis was there. Taken by Barrett, and Vella loses the ball. It's a penalty though to Queensland.
Crowd not happy about this one. Banana kick from Johns, not supported by his teammates. No one was there to latch onto it. 2 men on the tackle. Barrett reeked it out. Good decision.
So Lockyer with this left-footed kick, finding the line 25 metres out from his own line on the western side. Andrew G. And a penalty. Offside against the Blues. A call there, I fancy, from the touch judge.
Yeah, the touch, he told him that the New South Wales side hadn't retired 10, and it's a penalty you can ill afford. Just a real piggyback from the Maroons out of their own danger area. As we see Andrew G have his first touch, 38 out from the New South Wales line.
Webke. Put down by number 9, John Doyle, about to come on. Now Berrigan. Berrigan pulled down by Simpson. 22 metres out from the Blues line. For Langer again. And now for G. Over for Carlaw. Carlaw goes up the middle, thinks about a pass. Ricketson working tirelessly. Now with Lockyer, turns it in for Tallis. 5 tackles gone for Queensland. Doyle is on. Now Langer. He puts the kick back in. Oh, it came off the legs of the Blues. It has travelled forward, and it's the turnover to the Blues.
Yes, had Carlaw been able to pick this up, it would have been a try. It's the reverse kick, comes off Ricketson. Carlaw, can he pick it up? No. Pressured by Kennedy.
Queensland coming off their own line on that most recent set of 6 so easily, and then the benefit of the penalty. It should remind New South Wales that they just can't afford to give particularly dumb penalties, letting them come off the line like they do as easily as that. Simpson, 40-metre line, just behind Andrew Johns as he puts a kick down the ground. And Darren Lockyer brings it outside the 10, then the 20. Played by Shavovsky. Darren Smith dropping into a forward role for that play. Hindmarsh getting ready for the Blues. As Buttigieg offloads a short pass for Carlaw. And they are inside their 40-metre line, Queensland. In the centre of Stadium Australia, Webke. It's been a tower of strength for them. Tallis almost going straight through into open ground. 40-metre line, Doyle, Langer with a right foot kick that he plugs in behind, and Moody is there. Moody then goes out to the 20-metre line, and he plays the ball under the tackle of Andrew G. Now for Ben Kennedy to take a short side play. Andrew Voss right on that point of the ground. Yes, Andrew.
And Ray, watching from the sideline, I've got to say it's probably the most consistent 10 metres we've seen from a referee lining up the defensive lines we've seen in any match all year. I can tell you Mark O'Mealy, as you can see, has had a few staples above that right eye. Brad Fittler watching this, it's a little bit unlike State of Origin. Bill Harrigan playing a really big 10. It hasn't been the case this year.
Yeah, it is. It's drawing the sides really apart. I think the important thing for New South Wales, I think they've got to keep this game up tempo. To keep it up tempo, that's going to therefore make the Queensland forwards tight, and that's what you need. So it's very important that Joey really sort of takes that close to the line and keeps it fast.
Here's Jamie Lyon getting a good bounce, getting it to Jason Moody. Moody throws a speculator, picked up by the Blues, still picked up, they're over the line. Jamie Lyon has scored something that he started. Now Bill Harrigan wants to go back and have a look. This was amazing, how they kept it alive and kept it going, and Jamie Lyon, the youngest player on the park, claims a try.
Well, I'm not quite sure what the video referee will be looking at here. It was a kick deliberately through for Jamie Lyon, maybe offside. Let's have a look at how he is in relation to Johns.
He is, Pete. He'll check the offside. They were Bill Harrigan's instructions.
That's fine. No problem.
And Lyon's got plenty of speed, hasn't he? He was able to zip through the little hole. Look at him go. Queensland defence all stopped. Got a lovely bounce. Just held himself up beautifully. He looked for support on the outside. The support had actually gone back onto the inside. He threw a speculator, and Moody was there. Now, he's got to find support. Where is it? He flicked one up, looking for a blue jumper coming from somewhere. It did in the form of Andrew Johns, and he was going to be pushed into touch by Lockyer and Takiri, but he flicked it back on the inside, and Lyon is there. Good on you, champ. Great try to the Blues.
Great support play there, and again from the vision of Andrew Johns. As he goes line, we freeze it there. You see the Queensland side have all come up in a line. Look at the space. As play continues, it's just a matter of Lyon getting a good bounce. Timed his run to perfection. His Parramatta teammate Jason Moody back inside. That's difficult to make sure that that pass goes backwards as well from Jamie Lyon. He was able to achieve that. And eventually he backs up his second touch. Kicking game hasn't been great from either side in some respects, especially the short kicking game. Johns would have been bitterly disappointed there were no chases on his banana kick earlier.
Nathan Hindmarsh was that player with the arm in the air. He was unmarked, only just into the game, and they made it more difficult than it needed to be. But here comes the result. It is a try. It is a try for New South Wales. After 24 minutes, they lead 10-4. And again, different angle.
You can't beat speed in this game. We've got a bloke with a kicking game like Johns and speed of line. You've got to utilise them, and they did it. That pass went to ground, but Andrew Johns, who started it, he was there to pick it up, and that was a magnificent little ball he threw back on the inside there. Pressured by two Maroons defenders. The Blues like it. They go up. They've all worked hard.
Well, they may not have stopped that try, but you've got to praise the Queensland scramble defence. First it was Sean Berrigan coming across, then it was Lockyer. It was just the ability of New South Wales to throw that ball back inside and the support player to be there. But Maroons tried to get numbers there, just unable to stop it from going over. Another difficult conversion, but it is on the favourite side for the right footer.
21 metres out. He's a metre in from touch. On the western side to make it 12-4. Johns, who started it out, it's coming back quickly. It's there. So Andrew Johns really online. 12-4, the Blues lead. Wonderful try that turned out to be. They probably made it more difficult than it needed to be, as I said, but just perseverance and backing up, supporting your mate with the ball. Shrivovsky sends us off into the next few minutes of play.
Marcus, don't split early. Stay locked in. Stay locked.
First tackle on the new set for New South Wales, and Nathan Hindmarsh, a half break, 32 metres out from his own line. Here is Bailey, and they take him vigorously, Doyle and G. Halfway line now. First match of the Harvey Norman State of Origin series, and it's the Wizard Blues in front by 12 points to 4. Badiris for Johns, and Johns kicks. Jamie Lyon is after it. Darren Lockyer's on. They've let it bounce. Queensland have let the ball bounce, and the Blues go wide to the right of the ground. It is with Vella, and he kicks. He kicks with two players outside him, and Takiri saves.
Yeah, a bit of a brain snap there by Michael Vella. He got the ball when he wasn't supposed to, propped forward on the last tackle. He had support, but decided to kick the football. Look at this. Had both Gidley and Tahu out there against one defender.
Darren Smith coming down a very narrow corridor on the right side of the Queensland attack. Now Webke, and every time he gets the football, there is a new urgency for New South Wales. Lockyer puts a kick in. Hodgson has done very well. He's had one minor blemish, and he's tackled 35 metres out from his own line. Two converted tries, two wonderful kicks by Johns. As Johns spears it across for Barrett, and Barrett is Fletcher getting ready to come into the game. Halfway line, and Vella running into the shoulder of Andrew G, and Gordon Tallis turns him base over apex. Danny Badiris timed for a run, and he finds Brett Hodgson. Here they go again. Andrew Johns goes in to score his first Origin try as captain.
Well, he set plenty of them up, but this time he gets the honour of putting the football down, and Brett Hodgson up the middle of this ruck is creating havoc. Wonderful short ball from Danny Badiris. He frees it there. You can see the Maroon defenders. I'm sorry about that. I'll get rid of that. And you can see the Maroon defenders coming in, and the short ball off his shoulder is the key one. Let's have a look at it. The gap there. Beautiful ball to Hodgson. And then Andrew Johns, lurking on the outside, takes the pass. Darren Lockyer had no chance. Again, vision from the dummy half to go one way and then isolate a player in Carl Webb.
Well, it's the way they had to go in this match, Pete. You know, everyone kept talking about the big Queensland forwards, but they're not as mobile as these little blokes. But there's plenty of speed in Hodgson. He's been outstanding. Badeiras, Hodgson, Johns, the three big playmakers in this team tonight. That's their third clean break of the night, all right up the middle.
I've got to tell you, mate, I think Hodgson has been absolutely magnificent. He's a guy that has been in outstanding form for Parramatta for a couple of seasons.
Conversion successful, Wall, as we just show a replay of the bench as they celebrate. There's the conversion straight between the sticks. So he scored a try and converted the 3 tries. He's having a nice old night, isn't he? As his first time captaincy rolls on, Andrew Voss.
Well, he said his aim was to dominate the series. He wasn't mincing words coming into the game. And Brad Fittler, you've got to say right at the moment, Andrew Johns is revelling as captain of New South Wales.
He is. He's a great player. He's been doing it for Newcastle for a long time now, and he's just having a fantastic start of this game.
So, 18 points to 4. 3 converted tries now for New South Wales. It's been a wonderful first half of football for them.
And this is a very crucial last 10 minutes of the opening first 40 for Queensland, because if the opposition are the next to score, this game is well out of hand, or getting that way. So really they've got to batten down the hatches. 14 points wouldn't be that acceptable at half-time, but they'd cop it the way the play has gone. But any more than that would make it very difficult. Is this a 40-20?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yep.
No, the boys are doing high fives. He must have been inside the 40. Well, Johns continues a magnificent first half.
And for those people who are watching rugby league maybe for the first time, this is a huge play. It is a 40-20. If you kick the football from inside your 40 metres and find touch at the other end of the field inside your opponent's 20 metres, as we exactly see there, you retain possession. It's a huge play.
And there were 3 leading up to that too, Peter. 3 very quick plays from the New South Wales forwards. Very quick plays. Maroons forwards just didn't have time to recuperate.
Johns then, wide for Barrett. Now it's with Jamie Lyon, and prevented from passing on to Gidley, who's at dummy half now. They are 10 metres out from the line. Brian Fletcher is with the ball. Fletcher must be followed, and with the tiring Queenslanders, he'll certainly get a ball away. Tackled by Andrew G, and Alan Langer played back for Badeiras, given to Vella, and Vella is wrapped up there by the number 16, Carl Webb. Here is Barrett, second man play, Tamana Tahu! Tahu goes for the corner. Touch judge doesn't like it.
He'll have a look at it, but it looked like he dropped it. It was a great play, in particular by Barrett. A few of the Queenslanders look fatigued, don't they? The pace of the game has really gotten a few of the bigger men.
A lot of Takiri's having nightmares out there because he doesn't know when he's to come in or stay out. No, he's lost that football. As Paul pointed out, Trent Barrett a little in and away, the second man ball is creating something pretty much out of nothing, and all of a sudden the outside Queensland defenders have to make a decision.
I would have thought he was into touch before he lost the football. Seem to see which way the video ref says to restart this. No try, scrum, that's right. He went into touch, and the start is a scrum, certainly not a 20-metre tap, as both teams started to line out in that formation. Kennedy thought it was a try. A little bit of bias coming out in Ben Kennedy there with Tamana, his Newcastle teammate, heading for the corner. 18-4, the Blues over the Maroons in State of Origin 1. And this is McKenna now. Back for John Doyle. Here is Carl Webb, who will never forget his first Origin match in number 1 last year, with one of the better Origin tries. Refused to be tackled, remember it? Last year it was in game 1. Didn't they fare well Suncorp Stadium in great fashion in that one? Tallis plays it, and now Campion, used as a running forward, plays it on his own 40-metre line. A kick through from Berrigan, and Hodgson will be feeling very contented. He's out to the 20-metre line.
Sean Berrigan getting a tap on the shoulder of congratulations from Alan Langer, a solid hit on Brett Hodgson. There was a real chance for Berrigan to chip over when he had that football.
Out too quick. Out too quick.
He's got the markers here. Out too quickly from the marking area. He's done plenty of tackling, Alf, tonight. He's been amongst it.
To be quite honest, Paul, I think New South Wales have sent troops at him deliberately.
So the penalty, finding the line, just on the 40-metre line. The Blues on their own end of the park. Badiris, and now Hindmarsh. No smiles, not yet anyway, from Phil Gould. As Bailey gives a short ball away for Johns. Johns gets it on for Lyon. They've got a 2-on-1 situation. Lyons tackled with support coming on the inside. Played by Jamie Lyon. Now it's away from Johns, and it's with Barrett. Barrett gets the ball away. Hodgson, what a tackle. Darren Lockyer.
1-on-1.
That was a superb tackle. Now Fletcher. Fletcher tries to find the line. Fifth tackle gone for the Blues. About 6.5 minutes of the first half to go. Knock on by Ricketson. It's a penalty. It's a penalty to the Blues. Harrigan had been playing an advantage.
Now, big decision here. Do you put the opposition to the sword in your mind and maybe take an attempt at 6? It's not the case. Andrew Johns will take any points on offer to extend the lead to 16.
Yeah, I think they're doing the right thing here. Another 2 points would be lovely going into half-time. I think some big tackles. This one from Darren Smith is a beauty, the veteran. Pulled down Jamie Lyon. And then this one is even better from Darren Lockyer. It doesn't get any better than that, let me tell you. Hodgson reaching out to score and Lockyer nabbed him.
And with all due respect to Darren Lockyer, early in his career, if there was one small weakness in his game, it was defence on the try line. It has improved markedly over the years, and there is further evidence of it.
Andrew Johns has converted all tries. He scored one of them himself, and now the first penalty of the night within kicking distance, and he raises them again. 20-4, 5 minutes to go to the break, Andrew.
And I tell you what, you want to make a comparison between this match and the first game last year. The impact Queensland got off their bench coming up to half-time, it just hasn't been there this year. You've got to say that Carl Webber's been quiet, Andrew G has been quiet, and John Doyle really hasn't had any sort of significant contribution to this Maroons effort so far tonight. Chris Walker remains the fresh player on the bench for Queensland.
Shavovsky about to take us into the final 5 minutes before the break. Hope you're enjoying it, the telecast exclusively and live on the Nine Network and being beamed to some of our overseas rugby league nations at the same time. Michael Vella will play the ball on the 30-metre line. Back and away from Badiris for Johns, and Johns for Fletcher. Fletcher gets through one tackle, that of Kevin Campion. He's pulled down by John Doyle and Petro Sivanasiva. Badiris and then Ricketson. Badiris very patient tonight, Danny. He waited. Another penalty goes to the Blues. He waited and waited, Badiris, before deciding to run. Now Harrigan calling over the captain. We'll go down to the referee microphone for this.
There's been about 4 penalties, just little things. Marcus splitting too early, 2 are on Alf. Leg pull, no more, mate. We'll let the game flow. They will always go both ways.
It's a very understanding Gordon Tallis. He seems to cop it sweet.
Gordon was just making the point that he expects that to be the case for both sides, and Bruce assures him about that. Under 4 to go.
Vella, after it had gone through 3 sets of hands. Badiris lofting a pass away for Johns. Johns to Gidley. Gidley thought that pass of his to Tahu, the rather famous one would have been on then. Now Fletcher burrowing to the 10-metre line. Medeiros, and here he goes again. Johns is with him. Johns gets it away on the bounce for Ricketson. Ricketson comes to Doyle, and Doyle does the job. Now it's Hindmarsh. Hindmarsh running at Andrew G. 5 tackles gone, and they are so close to the line. Here's Johns. Oh! And a flick pass from Gidley, finding Tahu. The ball loose on the ground. Queensland coming up with it.
Yeah, flick passes everywhere there. Probably a wasted opportunity. Long ball from Andrew Johns. And Matthew Gidley knew that Tahu was out there somewhere. He gets it, he's well covered by Takiri, and then he flicks one up, looking for some support. Barrett's coming from behind. The Queensland mop it up.
20-4. 2.5 minutes of the half remaining. Lockyer finding Darren Smith, and then Shavovsky has to go away from the sideline. Runs into a maul of defence from New South Wales. And Lockyer now puts it down inside the 10, where Hodgson. One of the features of the first half has been the Parramatta fullback performance, and particularly his broken field play. To mention, of course, his support play has been just outstanding. He's had a thrilling performance. Here is Gidley. It was a collective roar, I'm sure, from the Hunter Valley when Gidley posted the first try of the match. Called into the game at about 1 o'clock today, and Gidley comes up with the first try. Vella.
Obviously come here with a purpose to prove the selectors were wrong in leaving him out of the original 17. And he's had a faultless game tonight as Trent Barrett drills one in low, in behind Shavovsky. Takes the football 12 out from his own line, 1.5 left on the clock.
16 points, the margin. 3 converted tries plus a penalty against an unconverted try for Queensland, scored by this man, Lottie Takiri. Langer finding McKenna. McKenna going at Gidley. Gidley and Vella. They put him down on the 30. Berrigan with the dummy half run. That job is not a stranger to Berrigan. Here is Lockyer, and Darren Smith with good hands, getting it back for Shavovsky. Play just outside the 40-metre line. Queensland using every available minute. The Blues coming up with the ball. Bailey has got it. And eventually he's put to ground as Shane Webke. Exhibits a face that is one of gloom, and that's the way it is for Queensland at the moment. Very much in arrears. 20 points to 4. And a mistake at dummy half, but it's a penalty anyway. And he's indicated sin bin.
You lean on him, you
against the captain, I fancy.
I warn you.
Is he talking to him as captain, or is he the...
Yes, he is. Going for 10.
And look, Bill Harrigan saying that he'd been warned for repeated infringements. The chat I heard him give wasn't necessarily concerning Gordon Tallis. He mentioned Alan Langer a couple of times splitting at marker. I must admit, I've got to say that in the first 40 minutes I haven't really seen Gordon Tallis offending on that many occasions. And I think that's a very, very tough call.
So Johns finding the line inside the 30-metre point. And we're down to Queensland end. He takes a shot at drop goal. And the hand goes up. A further point to the New South Wales total. Marvellous first half for Andrew Johns. 21-4. Johns a try. He's kicked all the goals, and then this one, right on half-time, a drop goal. He wanted to dominate at the superior level. Well, I tell you what, he's put 40 minutes of it together so far. Queensland query Bill Harrigan. Security surrounding the referee. Andrew G having a conversation with Harrigan, who a matter of a minute ago put the Queensland captain in the sin bin. We will take a break, and then Peter and the panel will be back to analyse the first half of the action in Game 1 of the Harvey Norman State of Origin Series, supported by Phillips. Thank you, Ken. As you can see, New South Wales and Queensland players just waiting for the instruction to return to the field of play. Phil Gould and the players coming together in a huddle, just reassuring each other that nobody will weaken, nobody will relent. And 21-4 down, Queensland make their way out. Will they recover? They have come from big margins down in the past, and they've got a wonderful coach, and they have, of course, great records in Origin football of coming from behind. This, however, is New South Wales' biggest halftime lead in Origin football. It's also significant that only 3 teams have come from 1-0 down in a series to go on and win the series. So you really want to win Game 1 if you can. Let's have a look at some of the halftime statistics that we haven't gotten round to as yet.
And they should all line up New South Wales way, and they do so. The line breaks, all of them from about 50 metres out, through the speed of players like Hodgson. Many, many tackles there for Queensland. That's one of the reasons they looked dead on their feet. They needed half-time to come, didn't they? Lots of missed tackles there, and time of possession just tells the story. That's why the score is 21-4 in favour of the Blues.
Gordon Tallis, of course, in the sin bin. I take it that is the accurate report. Repeated play the ball infringements, and I think the chat the referee had with Gordon a few minutes before he actually got put in the bin was to the effect that the next one who infringes is going to the bin, and that person happened to be the captain. He's very disappointed. He's handled it well, though. I mean, we've all seen Gordon blow up a couple of times when he feels that he's been wronged.
Well, I think the ironic thing is, Ray, is that I think he had every right to blow up with that. I think it's a very, very tough call.
So the second stanza, second half of State of Origin 1. The Harvey Norman series is underway with the Wizard Blues leading by 21-4. Carl Webb to the 30-metre line, centre of the ground. Queensland defending the southern end. Second half, Vella coming over the top of Ricketson's tackle. G reaching 40-metre line. 20 metres in from the eastern grandstand. As Lockyer drops it short of Hodgson, who's had a wonderful first half. 4 line breaks he made, Hodgson. Bailey made 95 metres, Vella made 78 metres in that first half for the Blues. They were the leading forwards, leading metre getters. Here's one of them now, Bailey, 25 out from his own line. Crowd probably in the high 50,000s as Fletcher gets a nice ball from Johns. Fletcher from the Roosters club, and then John stepping and turning it back for Barrett, and Barrett almost got a pass away as he went to ground under the tackle of Andrew G. Now Johns, and it has come off a Queensland hand. Berrigan.
Did Sean Berrigan play at this? Did he go for an intercept?
Yeah, the referee ruled that he has done so, and it will be a New South Wales feed and a fair call.
Half-time. What were you able to find out for us, Andrew?
Well, I can tell you I have spoken to both Bill Harrigan and Gordon Tallis at half-time, and I can tell you also the coin toss at the start of tonight before proceedings, it sort of set the mood between Gordon Tallis and referee Bill Harrigan. I've got to say I've seen lots of those affairs before. They're normally pretty boring, but tonight the atmosphere was absolutely icy. The comment from Gordon Tallis was he was under no impression that if Queensland conceded another ruck penalty that a player was headed to the sin bin. So if Bill Harrigan had relayed that message, Gordon swears that he certainly didn't receive it. From the New South Wales side of things, I can tell you that Phil Gould just says, look, let's not look at the scoreboard in this second half. We're not out to protect a lead. We're out to keep attacking and win the match.
Andrew Voss on the sideline. with Vella playing the ball, and Johns goes to the 20-metre line. Fletcher running into the gap. Last tackle, Johns puts it high and back into the goal mouth, and it may have come off Queensland. No, he's heading it back to the 20-metre line.
Yeah, Andrew Johns put that kick in, probably looking for Brett Hodgson maybe to steam through. It was Danny Badiris. He then ruled that it came off Badiris. Queensland now doing it tough again. Only 30 metres out through the big fellows.
Darren Smith floating onto the right side for Clinton Shavovsky. And Darren again. Kevin Campion. The Warrior playing it just inside his 40-metre line. Carl Webb. A gain of 7 metres now for Queensland. Played back for John Doyle, and now for Alan Langer. He only kicked on 4 occasions in the first half, Alan. Smith back for Doyle. And the Cowboy number 9 refusing to go down, and eventually keeping it alive for Petro Sivanasiva. 5th tackle for Queensland, and Darren Lockyer goes very, very high. Hodgson, another little test for him. Carving through there is Tahu.
Gee, I've been impressed by Matt Gidley tonight too. He's come in looking for the football on all occasions. That was his little offload to Brett Hodgson. And really good formation for the Blues now. They've got Brian Fletcher playing out wide on... Oh, good shot. Went under the ribs of Andrew Johns. Fletcher to the right. They've got Nathan Highmarsh on the left. That's where they excel at club level. Offload to Moody.
Vella it was for Moody, and Moody, after playing it, it's gone through to Johns. He plugs it into the corner. He'll make Darren Lockyer work. And the chase is on and is successful. Trent Barrett chased his captain's kick.
Wonderful, wonderful. Look at this hit from Carl Webb on Andrew Johns, and Johnsy felt that one, but he was up a ruck later to put in this magnificent kick. And Darren Lockyer had some work to do, and the tackle by Barrett, as good as it gets. Lined him up, pinned him down. That could be a turning point in the match.
For Queensland to go on and win this game, they had to enjoy the kind of possession New South Wales did in the first half, something like 60% or even better. And that hasn't been the case in the first 5 minutes.
Played there by Tahu. With New South Wales set the sails towards the try line again. Badiris with a fend on Langer. Alfie missed 6 tackles first half, put him down for another one. The little bloke having problems there. Johns, Fletcher. Beautiful passing.
Good tackle to Keary.
It was indeed. That has really rattled the cage a bit for Fletcher. On the bounce to Bailey. What was that?
Well, that'll do, mate.
He's been
Goose stepping.
Neville Glover tapes. Good on you, Luke.
Badiris then. Johns, long pass. Tahu. It's been pulled out by the Queensland defence for a legitimate play on their way. And McKenna's got problems.
Yeah, great tackle by McKenna on Tahu, by the way. Tahu's very strong. He normally beat the opposing winger in that area, but McKenna lined him up and brought him down. Doyle from dummy half.
20-metre line. Shavovsky, Sean Timmins, and Scott Hill sitting behind him. Timmins, of course, pulling out today, bringing Matthew Gidley into the side. An emergency call up for the Newcastle centre. Langer switching the play back to Berrigan. Hodgson, 35 out from his own line. The birthday boy, 21 today, goes back into the game. Shrek O'Mealy. Jamie Lyon, just outside his own 40-metre line, scored a try. Moody, Parramatta teammate, fending, trying to link back up with Jamie Lyon. Moody is just outside the 40-metre line. They're in the centre, the Blues. O'Mealy McKenna came at him. Big clash of bodies, and O'Mealy to play the ball. Just outside 30. Badeiros, Johns, a big dummy on the right, went back the other way, picked up Vella. Vella ran into the welcoming arms of Petro Civoniceva. 21 metres out from the line now. Johns puts the kick up. High ball! Oh, it's come down for Clinton Schabowski. Moody got a big jump on it.
Well, this really is great defence from Queensland in the last 5 minutes. Jason Moody almost taking the ball out of Clinton's arms. The important thing in the opening 8, when they've been under siege, they have not conceded a try. And a try now would just about be the game.
Carl Webb, just short of his own 30-metre line. Short side play for Campion, and now for Takiri. He's picked up and put down by Tahu. Back now for Lockyer. Touched in flight. Hodgson. Oh, Hodgson. Oh, Langer comes in after Andrew G. They both had a go. And Hodgson, he was there to be tackled.
The big fella has a lash. He's still not held. He's still entitled to be tackled, and a little general comes in.
Which one do you think hurt most?
Play by Ricketson now. Interchange, 5 for both. Hindmarsh. Just half a minute left for Gordon Tallis on the sin bin clock. Here's Badeiros. 47 metres gained on those 5 tackles as Barrett goes away to Johns, and Johns puts a little kick back, and Campion knocked on, did he? No, he's ruled knocked backwards. Gordon goes back into the game.
Well, they have done well, Queensland, to hold them out. They've had all the possession down here, the Blues, and the 12-man Queensland side has kept them trialless. Once again, that was a Johns banana kick that no one supported.
That was a knockback.
It's called a sympathy vote, isn't it?
Tallis. That is McKenna. Doyle to Langer. Now for Lockyer, almost through. Berrigan in support. Now it's gone on for Schabowski. Langer puts a kick in. Race for the ball, but it's dead.
Well, he was tackled after he kicked the football. This is better play from Queensland, shifting it wide. Short ball to Lockyer through a gap. Berrigan backing up. Then he finds speed out wide. Dicey pass. Schabowski had to go backwards to get it. Then Langer kicks the football, but committed to the tackle. That's fair enough by Jason Moody.
And Wally, as we see New South Wales work it out, they need points, Queensland. Chris Walker still on the bench. Must be very tempting to get him into the game.
Yeah, Peter, I must admit, I probably thought Wayne Bennett would have introduced him to the game around about now. Just under half an hour to go into the game. So I suppose once he is introduced, I suppose you will see Alan Langer start to try and make sure that he takes full advantage of his brilliant speed. Chip kicks will be made use of, as will cut-out passes. They will have to be, but I suppose Wayne Bennett is a little bit concerned because he does have some sort of problem, a rumour of a defensive problem.
So Darren Lockyer back inside the 30-metre line, his own end of the ground. Here's Takiri putting his hand up for work and taking it out to the 40. Now Darren Smith. Hindmarsh making the tackle. And there is Braithen Astor waiting to come into the game. Andrew Johns believes that he will be the next superhero of the game. Webke.
I also imagine Phil Gould would be tempted to put Braithen Astor into the lock position. Luke Ricketson's been absolutely outstanding. For those people who criticised his selection in this game, they've only had to look at what he's done for 50-odd minutes of this game. It's Lockyer, crossfield kick, Moody, Hodgson converging.
Well, there's nothing he can't handle, Brett Hodgson. There was great palpitation about who should be the New South Wales fullback. Here he is again. Carlaw hit him with everything he had, but Brett Hodgson, who basically won the battle with Luke Patton, both knowing that David Peachey would get the job if he was available. I've got to say it, Peach, and you're probably watching. Gee, he's having a bonza game. It might be tough to get back. Vella.
Well, but we hope you get a run, David. Keep your chin up, mate. You'll get a run again.
Johns. Lockyer coming away from his own 20-metre line and tied up there by Gidley. Andrew.
Well, two problems at the moment for New South Wales. Brian Fletcher was replaced. You think back to a tackle by Lottie Takiri on Brian Fletcher right on the Queensland line. Brian Fletcher was replaced then, went up the tunnel. The doctor assessing him at the moment. He's looking rather dodgy whether he'll return to this match. And also Trent Barrett has been struggling for the last 5 minutes. So just a few little problems for the Blues at the moment.
Chris McKenna's also having trouble for the Maroons.
And Chris Walker does get on the field. And he will give Queensland something they haven't got out there, and that is speed, and look to him to work off Lockyer and Langer with inside balls.
As Chris McKenna, it's like a rib cartilage problem as Lockyer goes high, and Moody came up with the ball. Lyon down the left side. If that trio of players around that bomb didn't know each other, they never will. Moody, Hodgson and Lyon, the communication was good. Hindmarsh now.
Immediately, as Paul pointed out, when Darren Lockyer got that football to kick it, Chris Walker zoomed back on the inside just in case a pass was forthcoming.
Anasta is on. Ricketson is off. Anasta will play at the back of the scrum, and here's Simpson leaving it there for Queensland. Played down there by Berrigan. Takiri. 8 changes made by the Maroons, 6 by the Blues. Now Smith over for Lockyer. Lockyer, picked up and put down by Johns. Really hitting Lockyer. The fullback rose, played the ball, then went down again. Now he's limping back, Darren Lockyer. Here is G with a short ball for Tallis. And Tallis gets it back, but he's given it to a Blue. Ladeiris plays it. Here is Tahu around Webke and over the halfway. Gidley this time. 42 metres out. He's hurting Darren Lockyer. Here's Hodgson. Sandwiched by Tallis and McKenna. Now Barrett. And Barrett to the 30-metre line. Where's the youngster? Where is Anasta? Here's Johns. Going over that wing occupied by Clinton Shavovsky. They have given him one hell of an initiation, Clinton. The Maroons now quite bunched as they come away from their own line.
And he's handled it particularly well, Clinton Shavovsky, his first time in the big time. And he's done as well as any player for Queensland for mine as Lockyer. A little bit of a chance on the outside, cut out pass to that man I was talking about, comes back in, beats one, makes it to the 40.
Jeremy Lyon and Braith Anasta, the youngsters making the tackle down the New South Wales left side. Darren Smith. Been around for an eternity playing this game and still playing great football. G for Campion. 5th tackle against the Maroons. Langer is with it. Little kick looking. Finding a New South Wales player. Chris Walker was after it.
That was Danny Ladeiris again. It's Braith Anasta, his first touch. Left foot step. Nearly offloads to a flying Jamie Lyon. Takes the tackle. Again, dummy half running this area of the field from the Blues.
Hindmarsh. O'Mealy. Webke up out of the line. Anasta quick hand. Hodgson is up there and available. Johns is with the ball. Gets a long pass. Gidley's pass is forward. There's a catch and pass situation to send Tahu away. But it went forward. And Fletcher, Brian, was just submitted then to a fitness test. The good news is he's back from the sheds. And this was the injury that Fletcher suffered. It was this tackle, I fancy, from Takiri, and that right knee copying the major impact and problem. 21-4. Scoreless second half. 22 minutes to go in the game, and Takiri to the 40-metre line. 10 goes back into the game. John Buttigieg. Webke. He was the leading metre getter in the first half at 73 metres, Shane Webke. Lost by Carlaw, picked up by Smith. Harrigan says play on. Tallis. Just inside the 30-metre line. 9 changes for Queensland, 6 for the Blues. Gould has got a bit of petrol up his sleeve. The two great coaches coming head-to-head for the first time in Origin. 5 series they've been there in charge. Each has only lost on 1 occasion. And there's the head-to-head since 1980 when Arthur Beetson. Here's the kick through, and Jamie Lyon had no problem with it. O'Mealy. Third year of Origin football. Started in 1980. I was just going to say when Artie Beetson led the Maroons out. Tommy Raudonikis, I think, was the captain of the Blues. Ted Glossop, the coach, and I think John McDonald was the coach of Queensland. People said, oh, it won't work. It's working. John.
Last tackle now is Andrew Johns again, drills it towards Shivovski's wing. It's been the case all night, and now the clock is really becoming the enemy of the Maroons. Just about to enter the final quarter of this game. One thing they've always been able to do is score quickly. Just lacking a little bit of a spark out there now. South Wales closing them down in defence. There is some tries in them if they can just get that opportunity.
Oh, gee, that's a good tackle by Tahu. He showed Takiri the sideline and then made a driving and legal tackle. 7 changes now for the Blues, 9 for Queensland as McKenna took a play down the left side, and then the captain Tallis. Darren Smith on 5, going to Alan Langer. Langer kicking, but Hodgson, it's almost as though he knows where to be. He has been perfectly placed, Brett Hodgson, and he's taken a thumping in defence. It doesn't seem to have worried him. He's quite spindly. Shane Webke rattled him up that time as Kennedy gets ready to come back.
One of the pluses in Brett Hodgson's game is not just his speed and elusiveness, it is anticipation. He just positions himself so well in defence. He's ready for the kicks, or if a break's going to be made, he's there all the time. A good little player, Brett Hodgson, having a blinder tonight.
Jamie Lyon. What's the story on Brian Fletcher, Andrew?
Yeah, well, Ray, he's just had his second fitness test, if you like. He looked a bit easier in his action that time, but the word from the Blues bench is they're only going to use him if absolutely...
Johns is away, and there are Blues coming from all over the place. Hodgson was there. That is wonderful defence, though, by Darren Lockyer. 5th tackle. Now it's away to Barrett. Barrett goes out to Tahu. Tahu is in. Try number 4. 25-4. Johns again into the gap. Tahu celebrates with a try at Origin level.
And that's one of the things that New South Wales had to pay close attention to tonight, the last tackle option of their opponents. But this time it's the Blues that come up with the 5th tackle try. Now, it's not just Darren Lockyer who does well here. Give also plenty of credit to Sean Berrigan coming across, because he forced Andrew Johns to pass earlier than he wanted to, giving Lockyer that shot. Then on the next play, just weren't able to get numbers back. Go up, and we freeze it there. This is the man that he wants to hit. That's the widest man in Lottie Takiri. Look at the space there. Thanks for coming. Just needs the pass to be delivered.
Yeah, always under pressure there. And Lottie Takiri just a fraction too far on the inside. Gave Tahu just a free run down that touchline. The quality of the pass is just sensational. Right into the breadbasket. He's only running half pace. He's only got to run half pace to get there. Too much space.
I guess if there is one good thing about the way New South Wales have dominated in particular that movement there, it's been Trent Barrett's form tonight. Struggled in the early part of the season so far with St George Illawarra's beginning to the season, but he's been magnificent tonight, returning to his best.
Alan Langer to the bench, and the kick is unsuccessful. 25-4. This was the kick on replay, and Andrew is coming off with a damaged right leg, right ankle. We've got to take a break. 25-4, New South Wales in front. Look at the crowd. The crowd just standing, applauding. This is an ovation that we seldom see at this level of football. The bloke that probably attracted most of that is standing behind me. 25-4. The Blues over Queensland, and 4 tries to 1. Johns has left the field. And for those people that were in a break, he got a rousing ovation.
Yeah, it was a standing ovation. And don't worry about comparisons to past players. Just revel in the fact that we had the opportunity to watch Wally Lewis in his prime early in State of Origin. Now we can sit back and watch Andrew Johns perform the same kind of magic in current times. If you love your rugby league, you've got to love both players.
Bailey. Bit of a disagreement between Bailey and Buttigieg. You watch that fat man, I'll try and follow the ball. It's with Petro. In fact, it's not. It's with McKenna, who plays it back for Berrigan. To the halfway line for Tallis. And the New South Wales defence driving and making ground without the football. So it's going across from Berrigan, through from Lockyer. Lockyer, Carlaw. Carlaw is up to the 40-metre line. New South Wales end of the park. Darren Lockyer, 31 metres away from the Blues line. From Doyle, it's with Campion, and now Darren Smith. They can't put him away, not with a one-man tackle. McKenna. And Chris has been in the wars tonight. He'll be hurting. He's grabbing at that rib cage again as I watch him rise. Berrigan's kick. Oh, good bounce for Sean Berrigan, and they should be trapped in goal. They lose their footing under Tahu. And line dropout time. Johns and Langer both on the benches. Andrew.
What a moment, Ray. What a contrast it was. You mentioned the standing ovation for Andrew Johns as he came off, but just seconds earlier, hardly a murmur for Alan Langer. Now, you've got to say, Alan Langer, in coming back to this year's Origin series, he admitted, look, I had my fairy tale last year. I'm just coming back this year to enjoy this moment. Well, tonight has been a bit of a nightmare. They have isolated Alan Langer in defence. There is no doubt about that. And I can tell you one hit up just before half-time. Luke Bailey playing his first Origin match. He was calling out Alf Langer's name, saying, I've got him, I'm going to run at him. This is a bloke in his first Origin against one of the legends of State of Origin football.
Played there by Buttigieg as Queensland get a pretty ordinary line dropout delivered to them by Braith Anasta. And this is John Doyle. He will play the ball 10 metres out. 25-4, the scoreboard at Stadium Australia in State of Origin 1. The start of a new series. Lockyer finding Webke. What a grand campaigner he is. Close to the line, but still this New South Wales defence, which has been a feature, holds. Tallis tries to lay it back, but the Blues have got the ball. That is Ben Kennedy with the ball now.
Yeah, that's the second loose pass that Gordon's thrown in the last few minutes, but they are desperate, aren't they? 21 behind. They've got to try anything. When you throw those passes, you expect someone to be there at this stage of the game.
Gidley spinning out of a Webke tackle. And And that's a good run by Gidley, taking it out almost at the 30-metre line. Bailey this time. The Dragons will be proud of him. 55,421 at Stadium Australia. Lockyer. He's played a leading role for Queensland. He's accepted a lot of the responsibility, a lot of the kicking duties, and tonight he's made two of the most memorable tackles I've seen in Origin football. Barrett with that kick, and then a little bit late, but Harrigan is not going to start worrying about that now. Neither is Trent Barrett, I don't think. Carlo. He's locked the scrum tonight, Dane. Was down to come off the bench. He was in the run-on side. Campion moved up to dummy half. Doyle started bench, and so did Chris Walker. That is John Buttigieg. So Berrigan now starts to call the shots well into the game, with Alfie back on the bench, and Brett Hodgson comes out to the 20-metre line.
And that's a bit of the problem now for the Maroons, is the fact that Darren Lockyer is getting very heavily involved, but they want him to be first receiver, they want him to be second receiver, and they also want him to be the bust man. Unfortunately, you can't play all of those roles, so enormous responsibility on that young man's shoulders.
Kennedy through to Gidley. I'm just wondering, was there any thought of asking? Here's a penalty going to the Blues. I'm just wondering, was there any thought given to asking Fittler to come back in to fill the gap left by Sean Timmins? He's on the sideline with Andrew.
Well, I can ask him right now. Brad, I understand you did actually have a phone call from Phil Gould this morning, but you didn't return the message. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I had no idea what he had to say.
What about it? I mean, we're close to full time now. We're getting down to the final 10, but it has been comprehensive. It's been hard to wipe the smile off your face tonight.
Yeah, it has been. You know, it's just been an outstanding victory, I think. Gus with time to go there. If you hold the ball, Joey's kicking game compared to Queensland's been outstanding. I think that's most really been the telling difference. I think Danny Badiris has been sensational around hooker, and our fullback's been unreal as well. I think everyone's really done their job.
Kennedy. And here's Badiris running and running. Somebody stop him inside the 10-metre line. The Blues looking for another. And that is Braithen Astor. Played it back quickly. Kennedy thinks he's got a chance. Then he spins off them. It goes back through Danny Badiris. Drop goal by Barrett. Watching Bill Harrigan. He'll go up with the arm. He does. Another point. Another drop goal to New South Wales. We will take a break. It is 26-4. The home side in front. Well, you people watching the telecast overseas, I'm sure you would have been impressed with what the Blues have done tonight. They started as favourites. Many of us wondered why. Maybe now I can realise why. 10 minutes of the game to go.
Stay behind the kick.
Queensland with Clinton Zhivovsky doing something that he probably thought, I'll have nightmares of have to do this too often. Here's the Blues with Hodgson coming up. They pick the shallow restart, and they are just inside their 40-metre line. Ben Kennedy has come into this game with basically no football. This was just in front of the break. Trent Barrett right in front, taking another point. 26-4. This is Nathan Hindmarsh, 40 metres away from the Queensland line, and Parramatta teammate Michael Vella will come in and complete the game. Bailey put away there by Chris Walker. Now Anasta back for Barrett. Beautiful ball for Gidley, and Tahu, he got a catch on it. It didn't stick.
Game was unfolding very nicely. The second man ball from Trent Barrett. Here's Luke Bailey getting rid of Chris Walker. Shane Webke over the top. And just again putting defence in two minds, creating the overlap, doing it outside his man but not able to take it. I don't think you've got to put that field goal down before that break. We talked to the quality of the Queensland defence, even at this stage. Blues didn't believe they could crack them, so they took a point, and that's a fair run.
Webke. Well, I suppose if you break it down, and it's worth looking at it, 21-4 at half-time, and only 5 points scored in the second half. 41 missed tackles by Queensland.
Yeah, that is outrageous, that amount of missed tackles. And it comes back to an individual thing, commitment. And look, they've tried hard tonight, but it just looks to me as though, well, they've been outclassed, I reckon. The Blues have had a great game plan, they've stuck to it. And our blokes have got a lot of work to do, the Queenslanders, before the second State of Origin in a couple of weeks.
This place, Stadium Australia, is proving a real bogey hole, isn't it? They have not yet won a game here, the Maroons. And that is Big Bailey getting it away for Nathan Hindmarsh. And eventually they put him to ground. Chris McKenna making the final shot on Hindmarsh. As we check the time, 7 minutes to go. Yes, it's been very little scoring in the second half, just the 5, 1 try for New South Wales, then the drop goal. Is that a sign of what's to come in Brisbane in a fortnight's time? A resurgence that will continue from the Maroons.
Oh, they'll come back, Ray. That's their tradition, that's their history. They do it too often. Barrett gets it on the boot again. Lockyer in good position. But even now, there's a line of Blue defenders down there to smash him inside the 10.
Kennedy. The thing about Kennedy that, as I pointed out just a moment ago, that amazes me, he's come into this game on such a limited match preparation. He was one of the grand final heroes. There he is again making a tackle. 11 grand final players involved in this New South Wales side. Doyle off to his right, and then Bailey makes the tackle. The kind of defence that the coach would have been working a lot on. As Walker is tackled, it came down to Carl Orr, back for Lockyer, and Lockyer puts a left foot kick towards the line, and Hodgson again calm and cool, just basically shadows it over the touchline on the eastern side.
Mentioned Luke Bailey's name a lot tonight. I, for one, think he's been their best forward, that's for sure. Luke Bailey, outstanding effort by him. His stats really aim up. 23 tackles, 21 hit-ups. By far and away the most number of hit-ups in the Blues team in his first Origin. So a great performance by Bailey, being well backed up by Badderas, Kennedy in the second half. O'Mealy was strong in the first half. Ricketson was outstanding on the edge of the rucks, doing a lot of work.
And the performance tonight of Luke Bailey is testimony to his ability. Done well at club level. Here's a chance, away into open space. Brett Hodgson, has he got the speed? McKenna coming from the right. Will have too much for him.
Hodgson is going to cap a magnificent Origin debut. Daly goes up. The former greats, they are applauding. The current greats likewise. This young man has had a blinder. And had it been in any other game, he would have been MOM. He may still be.
Well, I think I was having a blinder as well, but I just couldn't keep going, Rabs. I got very, very tired just over halfway. I thought it was good that you took up the call because I was gone. Here's Brett Hodgson taking the football at the back of the scrum, and it opens up. Darren Smith actually slips, and he's got good speed. Chris McKenna, not a noted speedster. Never an opportunity to give Brett Hodgson 10-metre start and catch him up, and even a little shepherd there from Luke Ricketson helped.
That's his 5th line break of the night. And what can you say? One of the best State of Origin debuts we've ever seen.
Well, he was ready last year, Paul. He went very close, and Mark Hughes did a fantastic job. He's probably close to the Blues' best player consistently over those 3 games last year. But Hughes in the centres this year, looking for a specialist fullback. David Pucci unavailable. This man was next in line.
You might have noticed him, viewers, looking up to the right corner, and he was looking at the big screen, and then the players that I referred to such as Laurie Daly and Andrew Johns. They applauded collectively this wonderful performance from the Parramatta fullback Brett Hodgson, who had a wicked year. Was it last year or the year before? Lost his mum. And his family and his coach at Parramatta and his club can be so proud of him. And he takes the kick himself. He converts. Andrew sideline.
Ray, that try reminds me of Brett Dallas Game 2 1995. I'm sure it reminds Fatty of that as well. Just look at some of the work of Brett Hodgson tonight. His support play. I doubt there's been a line break tonight where Brett Hodgson hasn't been there in support. It has been just an immaculate debut from the Parramatta number 1, a game that he is going to take through, you know, whatever happens from here in his Origin career, and I'm sure he's going to play plenty of games in the blue jumper. He'll remember tonight as one of his very, very finest moments.
Well, after speaking to him a couple of times through the last season, he knows Mum's watching. And there will be no one prouder watching.
It's a game like this when, if you're judging a man of the match, you wish to high heavens you had 2 awards to give. But he's come here tonight on debut, coinciding with the dawning of a new era of New South Wales captaincy. State of Origin 2, the showdown at ANZ, exclusively live on a fortnight's time, Wednesday, 5 June.
And Queensland have simply had no answers tonight. Too good, the Blues. You have to admit that. They played some outstanding football under their new coach, Phil Gould. He's been there and done it. There he is on the sideline. Very proud man. But this is now, after the 56-16 defeat in the 3rd game of 2000, this is Queensland's 2nd worst defeat ever in State of Origin.
Played by Lockyer and Takeri running along the 10-metre line, and again you see an exhibition of New South Wales making ground without the football. It's a show of enthusiasm to the final siren, a show of strength and confidence, pride, if you like, and they would be so proud. This young side with 8 rookies aboard the ship, and then having to make a change as late as 1 o'clock today, 32-4. In their wildest dreams, they probably didn't think this way. Berrigan's kick goes straight to Hodgson. He's like a target or a magnet. Spindly. He's quite tall, really. As Shrek on his 21st birthday. Hasn't spent too many more turbulent birthdays, but I don't know that he will ever spend a birthday like this again. Give him the key to the town. They counted down, the fans at Stadium Australia. Their team has won. The Wizard Blues, for Phil Gould, have won 32-4. Man of the match. All of that to come. The disappointment for Queensland. Disappointment that New South Wales knew only so well in 2001. But it's not over yet. It is not over by a long way. Those of us that have been around the game for a fair while will know that ANZ in a fortnight will be a coliseum of some proportions.